All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a special edition, okay? We have Keith Washington, okay? He is running Democrat County Council at Large for Prince George's County. Say what's up to the people, Keith.
Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? Happy to be here with the King. Hey, we're gonna get it in today. We're gonna talk about everything under the sun, and including our favorite team, the Commanders, the Wizards, and even touch on the Nationals and what they need to do to get it together.
Most definitely. Hey, matter of fact, let's get right to it. So, but real quick, hey, I want to let the people know early voting, okay, for Prince George's County. June 11th through June 18th. We really want to push that early vote. We're going to talk to Keith more about it. Also, Democratic primary, June 23rd. All right, real quick. How do you feel about, hey, we've been in PG County, the Washington Commanders, slash, they didn't change that name with Redskins. You remember them as the Redskins. You old school. And we still call them the Redskins, a lot of us. It was in PG County. That infrastructure is going to be gone. We definitely, want to bring something definitely lucrative that's going to help the county there. But how do you feel about it moving to D.C. and your roots in D.C. because it's going back? You remember when it was in RFK, how I was rocking and rolling back then. Talk to the people about your history on the D.C. sports and the Commanders, the whole nine.
Yeah, listen, the Redskins go back a long way with me, baby. When they first brought on Bobby Mitchell, Hall of Fame, Bobby was the first black player for the Skins. And man, I don't care who you rooted for, rooted against, Bobby Mitchell could flat out play, man. And he paved the way for a lot of brothers to come onto the Redskins. And the Redskins got about 9 brothers that's Hall of Famers, period. From Daryl, I'm just saying it.
Daryl Green, one of them.
It goes on and on and on. And so shout out to Bobby Mitchell and his legacy and what he did and what he produced back in the day when all the odds was against him and stacked. And so, historically, we are a strong people, and all we want is to get in the door. And once we get in the door, we're going to achieve, we're going to succeed, and we're going to knock it down and bring it in our other people, man. That's it.
Most definitely, most definitely. Hey, cool. Hey, so real quick, now, key points real quick on this election because, hey, we're going to do everything we possibly can to get you in because guess what? We think you're going to bring a change and you're going to be great for the community and just great for PG County in general. Key points I want to touch on, economic development. Explain, Keith.
Listen, economic development in this county is one-sided, right? We're going to change that, right? This county has a $6 billion annual budget and about almost $4.5 billion of that is county contracts. 98% of those contracts don't go to people that look like you and I, right? But that's our tax dollars. We're going to change the economic paradigm by which this county operates, man, and bring about some real equity for our people, trying to build some generational wealth. We're going to try. We're going to do it. We're going to use Marion Barry's old platform playbook. The great Marion Barry. Listen, the mayor gave a lot of us our first job as 15, 16-year-olds, and he saved a lot of people's lives by doing it. I'm going to bring back the summer job program here in the county for our kids, the 15, 16, 17 years old, because the unemployment for our kids, almost 90%, man. You can't go to McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's. You don't see nobody look like us in there that working. Those are kids' jobs, right? You got 30, 40, 50-year-old people in there working from other countries, right, in our community, and our kids are shut out. So, we want to open that door. Additionally, the county has about 700 jobs a year as vacancies. It has 7,000 employees, and about 10% of those people retire every year, right? So that creates 700 jobs. Well, historically, those jobs go to people in St. Mary's and Anne Arundel and Howard County, and then they hire people from their county. They drive down here, make the money, take the money back to their county. That's our money. See, 700 of us can't go down to Anne Arundel County or St. Mary's and get a job, period. Not 700 of us, not 600, not for 30 years or more, consistently, you see? So we're being bled dry economically. And when you talk about economics, man, people kind of miss that boat, but it determines your quality of life or lack thereof.
No, I love it. Hey, listen, that's textbook, Keith. That's why I wanted to tap in with that first because it's important to me. I live in PG County. My son, he's 19. And you're right. I see a lot of these forums. We love all people. But at the end of the day, our people are getting the short end of the stick. And that's not fair. So, hey, shout out to you for recognizing that. And I think, hey, That right there, we got to get Keith in. Hey, so real quick, Murray and Berry, I remember, back in the day, I lived in D.C. at that time with not my parents, my relatives there, and Murray and Berry helped me get one of those jobs, and they saved us, man. And it helped us, kept the parents. I had to ask my mom, you bringing that back to PG County, and of course, excuse me, I don't want to get off topic. But also your work with Murray and Berry, I did my research, was remarkable. Can you just tap in real quick with that and tap in how you think you're going to bring, like how you're going to do the same thing Murray and Berry did back in the 80s and the 90s, you're going to do it in PG County?
Absolutely. That's part of my platform. We're going to have a summer jobs program for our kids come hell or high water, right? People talking about they want kids to have a curfew and all these other issues. That's because you're not really mentoring, coaching, or teaching them and providing them with opportunities, man. Work builds character. And the younger you start as a 15, 16-year-old, 17-year-old, hey, bro, you see a different part of life, right? Now you got a savings account. Now we're going to teach you how to invest your money and start you on a program that we have kind of missed the boat on that. A lot of people from other communities, they teach their kids not just saving, but investing and how to invest. And they make sure other people come into their community and take the jobs. See? And so, in opportunities, we've allowed people to come in and exploit us through our goodwill, our good nature. And then we say, oh, we want to help everybody. Well, first, you got to help yourself, right? Donald Trump has fired 30,000 Black women in this county. So they have homes, condos, townhouses, bills to pay. I met a woman and her daughter 4 days ago at the Giant. She was GS-14, lost her job 18 months ago. Her daughter was GS-12, lost her job 18 months ago. They worked for USAID. They're driving Uber Eats to make ends meet now. After 18 months, all their savings are gone, and they out there trying to, keep a roof over their head, bro. We're going to change that, man. I'm going to offer legislation for tax breaks for these sisters and these brothers, too, in this county that lost their job under this madman in the White House. And I'm just telling you what it is. That's what it is. And they're defunding Black America, period. And no one could dispute that. And then no one can speak around that because the economic hardships that we're going to face have just begun. And we need fighters who are going to come in here and fight for us, not people who've been in office, like my opponents, Jolie and Iverson and Harrison. I'm going to say their name. They've been in office 35 years. If they ain't done it for us by now, they ain't going to do it. So we got to stop putting in the same old people who are not fighting on our behalf and just come to us every 4 years and say, hey, reelect me. Well, the problems we have now came under your tenure as an elected official. Boom.
No, great. Hey, you know what? No, that's real talk from Keith Washington. Hey, make sure y'all tune into his podcast, Real Talk with Keith Washington. It's on Truth Telling Network, the Live from the Field show. That's our brother show right there, man. Shout out to him, man, real quick. So, also, I want to get on public safety. Hold on. You're not a stranger to the police department. You're not a stranger to public safety. And for one thing, first and foremost, your military background. Us, home team, the Live from the Field show, we appreciate your service, brother. Thank you so much. You are a U.S. Army veteran. Also, Prince George's County Police, right?
Yeah. So 20 years in the Army. I joined the Army at 17, 20 years in the Army, 17 years on the county police department at the same time. And so my issue was, bro, I was homeless as a kid. So when I looked up and joined the Army, never heard of the Army a day in my life, right? And we were shining shoes down in Union Station, man, as a 15-year-old. Eventually, this recruiter came through there, man, and he said, hey, you ever thought about joining the Army? I didn't know what the Army was. Yeah. He said, yeah, you see the world. And just like that. Now, I was a high school dropout. Not because I was a bad kid, but because we had to work and make a living and do whatever you had to do, man, to survive. I'm a lucky man. If I wouldn't have saw that, brother, if I would have never met Mary and Barry, I'd have been dead a long time ago. So it's incumbent upon me to provide opportunities that people provided for me that saved my life. And so I'm real with that. And so we're gonna do what we set out to do, and we're gonna be unapologetic about it. We apologize too much for being us. Everybody bites off of us. Our culture, our music, our swag, what we do, what we say, how we say it, right? On the NFL, shit. I mean, excuse me, my language. I kick it out sometimes.
Okay, brother.
Black athletes dominate the field, but they don't own the field. See, we talk about ownership, right? Black talent in the NBA generates billions, but the wealth doesn't come to us. You know, the one or two that make millions of salaries, but the owners have billions in legacy wealth that pass down from generation to generation to generation. You see, and so that's what we're about, man. It is what it is, and we got to speak the truth about it. And it should not make anybody uncomfortable. See, the truth should make you uncomfortable. But if the truth makes you uncomfortable, you need to check yourself. And why is that? Ask yourself, why is that? And that's all.
Thank you. No, thank you, Keith Moses. Hey, look, honesty is the best policy. I'm gonna tell you something. That's textbook. That's integrity. And the things you're saying are words to live by. Hey, listen, we definitely got to vote for you. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, vote KeithWashington.com. Make sure y'all visit his website. And again, real talk. He giving it to us right now, basically. Real talk with Keith Washington. He laying it on the line. And just letting y'all know how he really feel. All right, one more thing. So when we were on public safety, so we kind of got on it, but overdevelopment and infrastructure, all right? Real quick, explain it to the people about how you feel about that and what that means to you.
Overdevelopment is simply this. My opponents have approved, tens of projects of developments of townhouses, community. They're building 300 houses down off 210. They're building another 500 houses on Piscataway Road. They're building 300 houses on Steve Road. They're building another 300 down 301. Just massive overdevelopment. So if you think about somebody building 300 townhouses in your community, 2 kids per house, that's another 600 kids got to go to the local school. The school teachers don't want that. They threaten to quit because now we're going to have 55, 60 kids per classroom. You just put another 600 kids in a local school. That's untenable for the teachers. So they want to go to Alexander or Fairfax where smaller classrooms, better pay, less stress. And even if a kid wants to learn in that environment, a kid can't learn in the classroom with 60 students, man. That don't make sense. So I'm going to put a moratorium on this development, this overdevelopment, and my whole focus is the infrastructure going to be built first, meaning widen the streets and build schools. Period. That's what the people want. It ain't what Keith Washington. That's what the people want. So if we elect people and they're not serving our interests, we got to just stop putting them in there. And we don't need to hear excuse after excuse after excuse. See, excuses are tools that men use to build bridges that lead to nowhere. So we ain't about excuses, bro. We about action. We about getting it in, getting it done, and saying, hey, what's next? And that's it, bro.
No, straight up. Hey, words to live by, real talk with Keith Washington. Listen, you know what? You're also going to be, we definitely going to have another special edition with you on the show, and you are going to be on our podcast, The Winner Circle, as well. I'll wait because I want to tap in with economic development and jobs. But hold on, don't worry. I got some stuff for you with that tomorrow when we shoot. Hey, listen. So real quick, I'm a PG County guy, born in D.C., raised in PG County. And real quick, just the history of D.C. sports. And, it's a lot of teams. Well, especially the Commanders, they got a sour taste in their mouth after they left D.C. and went to Maryland. Daniel Snyder, we talked a little bit about that too, the ownerships and all that, and what they do and to help to the community, the whole 9 yards. But what's the background as far as with you and how you feel about just D.C. sports in general and how we should all, because I'm the home team king, root for their home team. It's home team everything, man.
Yeah, listen, we can go to Commanders and Nationals and even the Wizards, right? Now, with the Commanders, when Snyder was the owner for 20 years, I mean, let's be truthful about it, he was a terrible owner, right? And he had his picks on who he wanted to be head coach. So if you have 8, 9, 10 certain types of head coaches and they lose, we still support the team, bro. We don't support your decisions, right? Now, if a brother come in there and they said, we're going to make a black man a head coach, they're like, no, we ain't having that. We'd rather have everybody, brother, get a shot. The NFL is 70% black. 70% black, bro. So tell me, where's the equity in that? Where's the equity in that? We got to look at things because that's what they look at. They look at it's all for them and none for us. And even though you're qualified, even though you was an assistant coach, even though you was an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, you might have coached for 15, 20 years, and they give you an interview, but they're not really trying to hire you. They're just going by what the Rooney Rule requires them to do. And then some people don't even get an interview, right? And so my point is, when you have guys like Mike Tomlin is a one-off. He's the only black man in the history of the NFL, to be a head coach for that long, ever, ever, and had a winning record every year. See, you have guys that have losing records all the time, get job after job after job after job after job, and then their sons get job after job after job after job. So there's a bit of nepotism and cronyism going on, and you kind of, for lack of a better term, you're locked out of those circles because the decision-making power starts with the owner. The owner, right, has what I call the economic power to make the decision. So we got to start focusing on economics. If you got 500 brothers in the NFL and 3 or 4,000 of them retired from the NFL, then there's no way those brothers should be able to pool their resources and buy a team. Now, let me tell you how that's started. That you can pool your resources and come up with 10, 12, 15, 20 brothers, co-owners to try to buy a team, right? It'll be turned down because NFL bylaws is that the owners vote. You have 24 out of the 32 owners have to vote for one particular owner to sell you their team. And they have always voted down black ownership or potential ownership of a team. You see? And then the fact that the owner wants to sell you his team, the other 31 members got to vote for him to sell you that team. And they don't want you in the club. That's just fact. It's common sense. If you look at it statistically, historically, at facts, science, data, experience, none of that matters. Even the financial underpinnings to purchase the team. We voted it down. And so they've done that historically, and they do it in secret. They do it in secrecy. And you'll never know because it'll turn off certain members of the fan base if they found out that they were consistently voting to turn away black ownership in all 3 major sports, actually.
Hey, Real Talk with Keith Washington. Hey, make sure y'all follow his podcast, Real Talk with Keith Washington. Vote, all right? Democratic primary, June 23rd. Hey, look. We're going to pass the ball to you, Keith. Tell the people where to find you at if they didn't know. And, man, let's just go to town, man, because we definitely tell them where to find you and tell them what they need to do to vote. And we getting you elected this upcoming Democratic primary, man.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, my people, listen. Go to votekeithwashington.com. That's votekeithwashington.com. Put in your name, your phone number, your email address. We're going to get back to you. I'm asking you to come and volunteer on the campaign and get involved. We want to change the paradigm by which this county operates. We want to start an army. We want to start a movement. If we're unhappy with the way things have been going, it's incumbent upon us to take action on our own behalf. Nobody's coming to save us. Nobody ever has. You see, the Supreme Court just gutted the Voting Rights Act. That means those 45, 50 black congressmen in office, in the South, they redistrict all their districts. So you may have as many as 7 or 8 congressmen next year, within the next 2 years. Black. They're diluting your voting strength. They're diluting your economic power. You're being replaced on these jobs by Trump and others. And when the government is firing you, the federal government, pretty soon private industry is going to follow. And we're going to be worse off than we were 100 years ago. It's already in the works. They decided Project 2025 is their playbook. And if you can go to the website, any website, and read it, and you can see that they're implementing their playbook, right? Against us. We've done more in America and collected less than any group of people standing up today, period. Not even close. And every group that comes here, the first place they set up shop is the black community to grow economically strong and viable. That's the first place they set up shop. Our communities are disappearing. New Orleans is gone. Harlem, New York is gone. Southeast DC is gone. Oxon Hill is gone, right? A quarter of Chicago is gone. Houston, Texas is gone. It's happening right before your eyes. And so we're comfortable here, so to speak, because we think we've arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in a fight. We're in a war. And you may not see any bullets being flying, but they're economic bullets, they're political bullets, they're social bullets. And the law is the greatest bullet that they're pointing against us to really undo our rights. The 13th and 14th, 15th Amendment going by the wayside, and a lot of other things. So anyway, votekeithwashington.com. Come join the campaign. It's about us. It's about our families. It's about what we want to do because nobody's coming to save us. But we got to save us. We all we got and we all we need.
Most definitely. Thank you, Keith Washington. Hey, listen, there you have it, people.